Top 9 mistakes in bank accounts opening in the UAE. Did you know that 63% of business accounts application in the UAE get rejected or delayed? And the worst part, it's usually because of simple mistakes that take less than 10 minutes to fix. And let me tell you a quick story. A tech entrepreneur from the UK, brilliant guy, built a 7-figure business back home. Spent weeks setting up his business in Dubai, license approved, visa sorted, fancy office space leased, everything looked perfect. He flew back to London thinking he was done. Then his world collapsed. His bank account application got rejected, not once but twice. The bank wouldn't even tell him exactly why, just that documentation was inefficient. When he finally called us, he was desperate. And know what we discovered? 3 tiny mistakes in his application that any banker could spot from a mile away. But it cost him everything. He had to fly back to Dubai, spend another 2 weeks sorting it out, and lost $200,000 client contract because he couldn't invoice on time. And I've seen this exact situation destroy perfectly good businesses before they even get started. And that's why I'm revealing the 9 worst bank account mistakes in the UAE right now. Mistake that banks won't even warn you about until it's too late. And these aren't just theories from some banking guidebooks. These are real problems we've helped hundreds of clients solve. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to avoid them, saving you weeks of frustration and potentially thousands of dollars in lost business. Hi, I'm Nermin from Emifast, and in the last 3 years alone, we've guided over 1,000 entrepreneurs through the UAE banking system. And I've personally seen how the smallest banking errors can collapse an otherwise perfect business setup. Look, I know banking isn't exciting. It's not why you moved your business to Dubai. You came for the zero income tax, the strategic location, the lifestyle, and not to battle with compliance departments. But here's the reality. Your company's setup is worthless without a functioning bank account. And I've seen founders with perfect business plans, flawless licenses, even signed clients, all brought to their knees because they couldn't get paid. So your company is set up, visa is stamped, Emirates ID in hand, and now comes the part that's killing dreams left and right. Opening your business bank account. Get this wrong and you could wait weeks, get rejected, or worse, have your account frozen after you've started operations. And let me tell you, the banking landscape in 2025 is tougher than ever. With tightened AML regulations and increased scrutiny on foreign businesses, banks are rejecting applications for a reason they wouldn't even cared about even a year ago. But no to worry, I'm about to break down exactly what you need to avoid. No fluff, no theory, just actionable steps based on hundreds of real applications we've handled. Mistake number 1, not having a UAE SIM card. You wouldn't believe how many sophisticated business owners trip at this first hurdle. Just last month, a fintech CEO with 20 million valuation had his entire application thrown out because he used his German phone number. And here's the brutal truth. No UAE SIM card is no banking, period. Because banks here don't just prefer local numbers, they require them for every security verification. Every login, every transaction approval, those OTP codes that protect your account, they only go to UAE numbers. Here's the process. First get your license approved, then complete your visa process, and next receive your Emirates ID. Only then you can get a permanent UAE SIM card, not a tourist SIM, a proper residence SIM registered to your Emirates ID. Try to shortcut this and you're wasting everyone's time, including your own. I've seen people try to use relatives' numbers, VIP numbers, even virtual UAE numbers from online services. The banks catch them every time. Next, mistake number 2, not preparing for shareholder checks. Every bank in the UAE has a different risk appetite. Some are conservative, others are more flexible, but they all care deeply about who owns your company. This gets tricky with corporate shareholders or multiple ownership layers. If your company has a parent company that owns another company that owns another, you'll need a UBO declaration. That's the ultimate beneficial owner, showing exactly who owns what. And it can't be something you drew up, it needs to be signed off by a lawyer. One of our clients that had a UK company as a shareholder, which itself was owned by a BVI company, the bank kept delaying his application for weeks until we provided a proper legal diagram showing the ownership structure all the way to the individual level. If you don't prepare these documents in advance, banks will delay you, or worse, they'll even say no. Mistake number 3. Picking the wrong business activity. Some business activities are red flags for banks, even if they're completely legal. Commercial brokerage, for example, perfectly legitimate business, incredibly flexible license, but banks often reject it because historically it's been linked with money laundering. Cryptocurrency trading, good luck with finding a bank that will touch you without extensive documentation. That doesn't mean you can't get an account with these activities, but you'll need to prove your legitimacy with a detailed business plan showing exactly how you make money. An active professional website, LinkedIn profiles for your company and team, verified office space in some cases. Banks will Google you. They'll check your online presence, so make sure what they find backs up your application. Mistake number 4. Weak online presence. This connects directly to mistake number 3. If your business is new, your online presence is everything. You need to look like a real company, functional website that clearly explains what you do, services or products clearly described, contact detail that match your company information, updated LinkedIn profiles for you and your team. I've seen applications rejected simply because the company had no website, or because the founders had no LinkedIn profiles, or because the business address on the website didn't match the license. No presence equals no credibility, and banks absolutely check this. Mistake number 5. Leaving the UAE before getting your cards. So your account gets approved, great job, but here's where many people mess up. They fly home before actually receiving their bank cards. The bank will only deliver your debit or credit card locally, not overseas, and they're very strict about this. We've seen founders fly home right after approval, thinking they can just have the card shipped. Spoiler, 9 out of 10 times the bank simply won't do it. So if you need that card, and trust me you do, stay until it's physically in your hand and then fly. Mistake number 6. Thinking you're done after opening your bank account. This mistake is financially lethal. Your account's approved, money is flowing, you think you're in the clear, you're not even close. In the UAE, your banking relationship is very important. Banks here don't just approve your wants, they're continually evaluating your transaction against your stated business purpose. One wrong move and your entire operations can freeze overnight. I mean literally overnight. You wake up, try to pay a supplier and get transaction declined message. What triggers these freezers? Trading with sanctions or high-risk jurisdictions, even indirectly, sudden large transactions without documentations, activity planners that don't match your license, receiving funds from businesses in sectors different from yours. I watched a UK consultant lose a month of operations because he started receiving payments from e-commerce companies when his license only mentioned business advisory. The bank froze everything and demanded extensive documentation on every client. By the time he sorted it out, he'd lost 3 contracts and had to take out a personal loan to cover his office rent. And remember this, in the UAE banking system, your account is never established. It's always under review. And unfreezing a suspicious account is about 5 times harder than opening one in the first place. Mistake number 7. Not updating the bank after license changes. If you change your license activity or switch shareholders, you must inform your bank immediately. Don't wait until your trade license is up for renewal. The bank needs to know now. We've seen accounts frozen just because the license said consultancy, but the company added trading activities without telling the bank. Every change equals new documents to the bank. No update equals red flag. Mistake number 8. Overpaying for bank setup is help. Some consultants charge ridiculous fees for premium banking packages or bank account assistance. Do you actually need it? Sometimes yes, sometimes absolutely not. If you're an online coach with a one-person setup, a Riobank or Mashrek in your base account will likely cover everything you need. You can open this in app in 5-7 working days without paying anyone thousands of dirhams or premium help. That said, if you've got a complex setup, multiple shareholders, or need a serious cross-border transaction support, then a professional help makes sense. But know what you're paying for. Mistake number 9. Using the same bank for personal and corporate. This is becoming increasingly important. More and more founders are using different banks for their personal and business accounts, and for a good reason too. If your personal account gets frozen or flagged, maybe you received a large transfer from abroad that triggered compliance checks, you don't want that spilling over into your corporate account. One risk shouldn't affect your entire operation. Split your accounts between different banks. It's simple risk management. What comes next? Tax and accounting. Once the bank account is live, don't just disappear into the sunset. You still need to get your tax structure and accounting set up. Corporate tax registrations, VAT compliance if applicable, monthly bookkeeping, yearly financial statements. But here's something most consultants won't tell you. Getting this wrong can trigger audits that cost 5 to 10 times more than just doing it right in the first time. I remember a founder who tried handling everything himself, thinking it would save him money. 6 months later, he was facing a 70k AED in penalties and retrospective filings, all to save what would have been a 8,000 AED accounting package. And that's why we don't just help with setup, we make sure you stay compliant long after your account is running. Now let me be straight with you. Banking in the UAE shouldn't be this complicated, but the reality is if you don't know these unwritten rules, you're walking into a maze blindfolded. I've seen too many good businesses collapse because of simple banking errors. Ambitious founders flying back and forth trying to fix problems that could have been avoided in the first place. And at Emifast, we don't just open accounts, we make sure they stay open. Our process walks you through everything step by step, with documentation templates that banks actually accept, compliance checks that prevent visas, and ongoing support for when regulations change. And here's my promise. Book a free 30-minute strategy call with our team at emifast.com and we'll audit your current banking setup or application. Completely free. No strings attached. You'll know exactly where you stand and what needs fixing. Even if you've already been rejected or had your account frozen, we can help. We fix these problems every single day. So I would say hit the like button if this video saved you from a banking headache and subscribe for more UAE business intelligence. Drop a comment if you encountered banking issues I haven't covered yet, and I personally read every comment. I'm Nerman from Emifast and I'll see you in the next video.